All right, man. Welcome back to another episode of Subtopic. I'm your host, Subtopic, and we're gonna get into this real quick. We're not gonna waste any time. So, what we're looking at here is the Hebrew alphabet. This is the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. This is the first one, the Aleph, and the last letter, the Tav. So the first Aleph and the Tav, the first and the last. Sounds like Jesus said that he was or is the first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega in the Greek, the first and the last. This is what they look like, letters Aleph and Tav. It's important to note that the alphabet or the Hebrew in general is read from right to left, as opposed to us in the States, we read from left to right. In Hebrew, you read from right to left. Now, these are the eclipses on August 21st of 2017. This was the path that the eclipse took on the States. That was again August 21st of 2017. On October of 2023, this was the other path. October 14 of 2023. The path of the eclipse that happened there. So what you see here is, you can see the Tav, right? Some intersection point somewhere up here in Oregon, more or less. Ballparking it. So you got the Tav. Now, on April the 8th of 2024, we had this eclipse. And this was the path that it took. Forming then the Aleph, right? This was the Tav, intersection point. We can't see the X because it continues to go up here technically. But in 2024, we form the Aleph again. As the last one, the Aleph. And you read from right to left, the Aleph and the Tav. Okay. Now that's one because according to us, we read from left to right. So, the writing in the sky from the Creator, maybe, who knows. Now between those 2 years, 2017 and 2014, or even to today, we can say a lot of things happened. Major things that happened were the people who were studying the stars, looking at the stars. You had the Revelation 12 sign that happened. Revelation 12 sign that year, that was September 23 of 2017. We got to see that. Now, we saw this sign again on September 18th of 2023 as well. This is what it looked like. September 18th of 2023. So, very interesting things here. Now, the Revelation 12 sign, or, for those of you who don't know the scripture, Revelation 12, it's the woman and the dragon. So in this case, Virgo, the constellation, Virgo, looking at the constellations. It's important to remember that in Genesis, when God was creating the world in the 7 days that it took, or the 6 days if you don't count the seventh one when he rested, the 6 days that it took, one of the days when he created the stars, he said these would be for signs and for seasons, right? Now Jesus said that there will be signs upon my return. Well, the Revelation 12 sign says, a sign appeared in the heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with a moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant in this case with Jupiter, in 2017, and cried out in pain, and she was about to give birth. And another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his head, right? We don't get to see that here. Same thing happened in 2023, right? The only thing is that this year, 2023, was a literal, I think, a comet they found. They named it Child, right? So, interesting things there. There was also the attack on Israel, right? Hamas, on October 7 of 2023. They did the Hamas attack. Now, Hamas means violence in Hebrew. Hamas. The word Hamas means violence in Hebrew. So Hamas, in Genesis 6, God is talking to Noah, and he's warning Noah, I'm going to flood the earth because the earth is filled with violence, or the earth was filled with Hamas, right? with violence. Jesus says, in those days, their hearts will turn cold. Love for one another will fade, and evil will abound. People will call evil good and good evil, and we've seen that. We've seen it, on the news. We see it. So just another sign of the times, like that song by what is it? One of the One Direction guys says, just another sign of the times, man. Now, between all these things, I asked AI, Grok in particular, I asked the question, between these years, said, what cities as of today, July 11, 2025, are affected by weather phenomena who were in the path of the 2017, 2023, and 2024 eclipses in the United States? And it answered my question. It first identified the cities in the eclipse of 2017, the same thing for 2023, same thing for 2024. It found intersection points of the eclipse paths. Kerrville, Texas, is on the news today. There's other areas on the news as well in the paths of this eclipses, right? I know New Mexico, Ruidoso was on the news. I think I saw something in Georgia as well. I'm not too sure though, but I want to say I saw something about in the news there too. So Carbondale, Illinois, San Antonio, Texas, Salem, Oregon, and Kerrville, Texas. These are points of intersection. Now, significant weather patterns between these dates. We can see here Carbondale, Illinois, tornadoes, San Antonio, Texas, flooding, drought, Salem, Oregon, same thing, Nashville, Tennessee, Buffalo, New York, Dallas, Texas. All right. These places afflicted with strange weather patterns, or, something out of the ordinary. Now, who knows, man? Maybe everything is just random and nothing means anything. Everything is just by chance, and if anything does happen, it's coincidental. But I tend to believe now, and I have for some time, since 2017 when I started coming into the faith. I want to say 2017 was the year I woke up. I'm looking at things differently, man, and I have, for since then. And I see it in the movies, I see it in TV, I see it in the music, on radio, television, billboard signs, See it, I'll give you an example. Narnia, the books or the movie, if you saw the movie, you have the lion figure, right? With the breath of life, resurrecting the dead, So this is just some minor examples. You might have remembered also that between these times, there was a lot of questions I saw on TikTok in particular about the Euphrates River. People were asking, is this another sign of the times? Is this a sign that Jesus is returning, right? This is as of June 20th of 2025. You can see here, just as the Bible warned, the Euphrates River is drying up. Now, I bring all this to come to Revelation 16, the 7 bowls of God's wrath. Now, you have all these 7 angels who pour out their bowls, and all of these are wraths of God, and perhaps they are supposed to happen chronologically in order, sequential order, but maybe not. Who knows, man? Because the 5th angel is, or where is it? The 6th one is the one that has to do with the Euphrates River. Now, there's one here, the last one. The 7th one poured out his bowl to the air, and aloud came a voice saying, "It is done." There came flashes, lightning, rumblings, pearls, and a severe earthquake. No earthquake like it has ever occurred. Now, on TikTok, I got a lot of comments. They're saying the New Madrid fault line is next. Now, the New Madrid fault line, perhaps there is correlation to that great earthquake. Who knows? Again, who knows what's going to happen? The only thing I can say, man, is you got the IQ, according to the world records, the highest IQ guy, Young Hoon Kim, I think is his name, coming into the faith and telling anybody, that Jesus is imminent to return. He's saying that before the year 2060 for sure, and he has a mathematical equation. So there's a lot of people coming into this, man. In Daniel, it says, knowledge shall be increased, and people will be going to and from, so we're seeing that as well. Through AI, knowledge is increasing as well. So the only thing I can say is know who Jesus is, know why he did what he did, and just get to know him. That's the best thing I can say. And because if you can understand that, you understand the whole ransom mission and what the point of the whole thing is. That's all I got for now. So stay blessed, and And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.